Hello everybody. Let's try to do figure 753. It's called the roller rest bracket. It's basically the fourth one on the advanced sheet. I'm going to start off by making the entire chunk. I'm going to start my sketch and use my rectangle tool. Alright, I would like this to be a 2 tab 4 space 3/4. Finish that sketch. And it needs to be a 2.5 inches tall. I'm just going to go 2.5. That's one of the easy decimal equivalents. Alright. Now, when I drew this, it's actually angled differently than my sheet drawing, so I'm going to choose this corner to rotate it. Now, a little trick here is I'm going to right click on the cube and go to this option called Set Current View as Home and click Fit to View. So no matter what happens now, if I click Home, it's going to always go back to the view that I like. Okay. Step 1. What we want to do is we want to start cutting away basically as much as we can to start with. So first thing I'm going to do is take a look at my object closely so I can see the hidden lines and what needs to be removed. I'm going to draw a couple of the small cutouts first. If you look on the bottom of the object, there's it's going to be right in this area. We're going to have to remove a piece that's 2¼ inches long and 1¼ inches tall. So I'll start my sketch, go back to my home view, grab my rectangle tool. I'm going to choose the corner here. I'm going to open that box up, and the blue box should be the 2¼ and then tab, and we are only 1/4 inch tall, so we're going to go 1/4 inch tall. See that little piece? I can finish that. I can extrude. I should be able to select it, push it out this way, and distance all. Alright, there's that first little cutout. Next, let's start to cut out the piece that is on this far side. Okay. Now, if I look, the entire object is 2 inches wide, and I can see that the parts that are left over are 3/4 and 3/4. And the 3/4 inch would be from here to here, and another 3/4 from here to here. 3/4 plus 3/4 equals 1½ inches. So that means that the leftover piece here is only 1/2 inch, but the entire length. So I'm going to start a sketch on the top this time. I'm going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to choose the corner here. Now I'm actually going to just touch this other edge because I know I want it to go all the way across, which is the 4.75 number. The number in blue needs to be changed though to 1/2 inch. I'll just do 0.5 because it's easy. Finish sketch. Okay. Now we need to push this piece down. Now right now it's going too far. I want to go up, but I want to leave behind enough room to leave me some space to drill that hole. So right now 2.5 is the total height. If you look, the small notch I cut right here is 1/4 inch. So I'm going to actually say I actually know I need 1/4 inch less. So I'm going to go minus for that. Brought it up a little more, and I put another minus here. And we're also going to subtract the thickness of the small piece I want, which is 1/2 inch. So you can see how I've actually cut it, but I've reduced. I said I want to leave 1/4 and leave 1/2, so that brought it up to this point, and I can click OK. You take a look on the back here, that's that cut. And you can see it shows you this in the form of a hidden line on your drawing. Alright, next. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to draw on this face the piece that I want to cut out, and I'll force it back until I touch the cutout which has the circle in it. So it'll make more sense when you see it happen. I might do this in a couple stages. So I'm going to start a sketch on the end, and I know this is a 3/4 inch piece. I'm going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to go to my home view again. It always helps me imagine it. So I'm going to draw a piece here. It does need to be 3/4, and the height of it has to match this height. So I'm going to touch that and let the line tell me that I'm matching it. And I want to make sure that the blue number is 0.75. It is that now because I happen to be there. Notice it moves around. I'm just going to go ahead and click there. I could also type 0.75 and enter. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish the sketch. Choose extrude. We're going to push it this way. We're going to push it quite a ways though. If the entire distance, the entire thing is 4 3/4, which obviously is too much. How much is left over? 5/8 of an inch is left over. So I'm actually going to say, please minus 5/8 of that. So you can see I leave a little chunk left. That way I can cut that other piece out. Now I'm not all the way done, but this gives me a big cutout. Okay, let's cut some other chunks. Let's cut the rest of this piece out, which is left over here. I know the distance from here to here should be 1 inch and should be 5/8, so we're going to line up with that. We're going to draw a rectangle, and we're going to draw this rectangle over, and we need to have a space from here to here that's 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to start my sketch. I'm going to drop a point here, which is going to give me the end spot of my rectangle tool. I'll go ahead and click, and if you look at your drawing, you can just see that's 5/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to start from here, and I'm actually just going to come on up over to this, touch the green dot, and drop it. I can finish this sketch, and I can say extrude. I'm going to push it this direction, and if I want to know what this distance is so I get that correct, and we know that that distance is flush with this. It should be across 3/4 of an inch, so I only want this to cut in 3/4, and it should be flush with that. So we're starting to hack this up. Let's cut away the extra bit on this top because it should only be a certain height. Now this is a hard measurement to get. You can see the 1 1/8 inch from here to about here, but that lines up with the center of the circle, and then you'll see the radius number of 3/8. Actually, that radius number is the extra bit on top of the 1/8. So let's do this. Let's drop a point on the face, and let's do some math. Put it right there. Dimension the distance from here to here, and I'm going to type in a formula. I know I want 1 1/8 plus 3/8, and that'll get me to the point I need. I'm going to use my rectangle tool then, grab the dot, and the cool thing about this, I can snap to this dot. I just highlighted that. I have to have my reference though. Finish this sketch, and let's extrude this in 3/4. It's already there. Okay. Now again, there's many ways to do this, but this is the way I'm going to do it today. Let's cut the angle across. Now this can be confusing for people, so pay close attention. I'm going to start a sketch on this face. I'm going to go back to my home view. Let's find a starting spot for our line, and it's going to come down at an angle. Now it actually tells me a 60-degree angle this time, but it doesn't tell me how long, but I know it's 60, so this is the first time we get to use the angle option. First, let's drop our point on the top and dimension it the correct distance. Oh, sorry, try that again. Dimension, choose. Oh, look, I didn't grab the edge. I better back that up. Let's back up, drop my point again. Make sure the line turns black. There we go. We like that. Now we can dimension. If you look in your drawing, it is at 1 1/4 inch. 1 1/4 inch. My point. Now here's the angle option. I'm going to choose my green dot, and I'm going to point an angle. See, I touched the line. I'm going to go farther than I need to. Just make sure the line is plenty long. Notice the blue box says 3.33 and the white box says 47 degrees. Use your tab key to get to the degree box, change it to 60 and hit enter. You've actually drawn a line farther than you needed, but it's 60 degrees. So I can now grab my line tool, grab this intersection, and highlight the remaining bit. I like to outline the whole thing. Now that you've outlined this piece, we're going to cut that out. And 3/4 is enough. Let's say OK. If not, you say distance all, of course, and that'll be good too. All right, we're getting there. All right, next, we know that let's do our fillets. Do you notice that this is curved and so is this corner? So we're going to choose our fillet tool. Let's deal with this corner first. Change the fillet to the radius we need, which is 3/8. Click on the corner you're interested in. There's one. Apply. We want a new one. This one now, if you look at the number, it's the numbers written about here on your drawing. It says a 1/2 inch radius. So now I want to change that to 1/2 inch. And watch, choose this inside curve and it adds a piece to it. So it actually makes that curve. Start with the angle, add the curve later. There we go. All right, next, let's pop some holes. We're going to start with the point tool. Create a sketch. Let's do the easy one, this one. This one's easy for a couple reasons. When you create the chamfer, it gives you a little dot which shows you the center of this. If you imagine this being a full circle, it'll show you the center point. So what I'm going to do is choose my circle tool. And actually it'll help me to find that dot right there. See it show up, the black one? So click on that. It's showing you the center of that radius. You don't have to do any measurement if you don't want to. And if you look, that's a radius of 3/8. Or I'm sorry, you look down below, it tells you there's a drill. The arrow's pointing down. It actually says 5/16. So type in 5/16 for that. All right, there's the first hole. Let's finish that and extrude that out. There's one. Let's do this one. This one's going to have to need a point tool drop down. Drop my point here, and we need to then move that point down and over to get the correct measurement. The distance down is a 1/2 inch. That's the same as 0.5. And the distance over, if I can see it. Oh, it's hard to see. It's written on the top. It actually is a line coming across, and it's written about here. It says 11/16. The line comes across and drops down. It's not the best way to probably make that for you, but it's really hard to read as well. So trust me on it. Distance from here to here. Sometimes you got to click twice on that. It didn't work, so I'm going to hit escape. Try it again. Dimension, click, and click. There, we got it. Sometimes it doesn't work all the time. 11/16. Okay, that is now in the right spot. Next, how big is the circle? Oh, circle tool. There's a line pointing up. It says 7/16. And finish. And extrude it out. Sometimes it's making me choose it this time. 3/4 is enough to cut all the way through, so got that. Okay. How about this hole? Last one. We need a center point, of course, so draw a sketch. Drop your point tool. I know that it's actually centered between here, and if you remember what the green dot tells me, the green dot shows me center. Why do I know it's centered? It tells me it's an inch from here to here, and it's in total of 2 inches, so just come on down until you get your green dot. Follow the line back. Therefore, we know we're centered in that direction. Next, how far is it, though, from this point to the end? If you look on your drawing, it's 1 1/4 inches. Click, click. 1 1/4 inches. All right, finish the sketch. Okay, next we're going to grab the circle tool again. Oops, I clicked finish sketch too soon, didn't I? So how am I going to reattach myself to this sketch? Well, if I go down my list, you have to stop on the one